What's going on, guys? My name is Nath. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a pretty exciting video. We're going to be doing an Outlaw Rogue Heroic Jaina clear POV. This was a super exciting night. This was actually my guild's first Heroic Jaina clear. Coincidentally, it was also the first night we did Jaina, so it was really cool to get her down on the first night we were trying to actually progress on her. So super good job to everyone in Paradox, my guild. You guys, we all killed it this night. It was really fun. Jaina's actually probably my favorite fight of Battle of Dazar'alor so far. Just a really unique fight, really cool, distinct phases. So let's just hop right into it, guys. This is phase 1. As an Outlaw Rogue, there's not a lot really going on here that you have to really deal with. Most of the mechanics that are actually important during this phase are actually behind you in the back of the boat. So there's some ballistas that you have to shoot on either side to kind of ward off some Kaltirian ships, and then we have priests kind of mind controlling some ads as they spawn off the boat. But really the only thing you have to worry about for Outlaw is just staying out of the bad stuff on the ground, and then also moving out when she starts to cast her Ring of Ice ability, which you will see shortly here. So here it is, she's channeling Ring of Ice, so you have to get out of the Ring of Ice and then into the fire to get rid of your chilling stacks. Easiest way to do this, guys, as Outlaw Rogue is just throw that grapple ability. It was actually really convenient for the pace of our DPS and how the fight was progressing with her rain ability. Every single time she would cast that, my grapple was actually off cooldown, so it was really easy just to really throw it as soon as I see her casting that. So ideally I would recommend you guys as Outlaw players to always make good use of that grapple ability. Super underrated, and just I always say in all my videos, guys, just really make smart uses of those movement abilities. And I kind of had the Gron mentality here where I'll use one movement ability to get out of the mechanic and then one to get back to the boss. So you'll see on the next channel of that ability here, I will use my grapple to get out of it, and then once it's time to return to Jaina, I'll actually go ahead and use that sprint just to kind of minimize that downtime. So as far as other things I'm thinking about here, really just staying out of the bad stuff on the ground, and then I'm working just through my normal single target rotation. So here's Rain of Ice for the second time. I'm going to grapple, boom, right into the fire. I'm just going to sit, and then as soon as that rain evaporates here, boom, I'm going to pop sprint, and then I'm going to get right back to Jaina. But yeah, like I said, just really focusing on the single target rotation here, guys. Not a whole lot else going on for Outlaw Rogue. She will do an intermission and start to phase into the next portion of the fight at 60%. So you can see me here. We're approaching that very quickly. She's already around like 63, 62. So I'm going to be just focusing on pumping out the last bits of damage. And then I do want to be navigating towards the edge of the boat to prep for this intermission here. So here we go. She's gone ahead and she's going to go into her little monologue here, which is super badass. She's like, hey, you know, you thought I was running the whole time, but I'm actually like luring you into the open waters to like kill you. So super cool, super badass Jaina. I did feel kind of bad fighting Jaina, guys, because I am an Alliance player and I really like her character, especially this expansion. She's a total badass. I really appreciate her lore. So here, the name of the game right now during this intermission phase, guys, is to interrupt her. You'll see these ice swirlies on the ground. You have to avoid these at all costs. If you actually get hit by these at all, you immediately become ice blocked, and that's going to just cause problems for you. So you'll notice here that as you get closer to where she is, the icicles are actually really condensed. So it's pretty hard to avoid. So as a rogue, the one thing you can actually do here, guys, is pop your cloak, just run straight through the icicles, and then get the kick to interrupt her, and then actually start phase 2. So here you actually saw my Demon Hunter get the kick off. Just we had kind of the Demon Hunters and myself kind of as like the dedicated interrupters. So I would encourage you guys as Outlaw or Rogue players in general just to tell your raid leads and tell your group that, hey, I'm available to make that run, make that kick happen, just because any utility you can provide and just to make your fights easier is always really appreciated, obviously. So moving on to phase 2 here, guys. One thing to really pay attention to is obviously if you get the siege breakers on you, to take those out. And the one other thing that you'll be looking out for is players getting ice blocked. So there's two ways to un-ice block them. One you see on the screen right now, which is this fire barrel. Anybody that's blocked in the radius of that will get immediately unblocked. And then another way you can break them out is just pure damage. So anytime you see parts of your raid become blocked, you immediately want to be thinking, boom, I need to pop my Blade Fury and start cleaving these. And it's good for your parts too, guys. I mean, any cleave is good cleave for Outlaw, I always say. So really just be kind of watching out for that, and then just be popping Blade Fury kind of essentially off cooldown there when those players do become blocked. So here's a great example. I see we got a couple people blocked. I'm going to go ahead and immediately pop Blade Fury. I do pop Killing Spree here as well, just for some extra burst to get them out a little quicker. Killing Spree here is kind of on the normal priority, either for ice block targets or just when you're low on energy and low, you need to get some of that energy regen back up. So another thing that you do need to be careful about when you're doing this cleave is, oh, and actually here I'm targeted by that siege breaker, guys, and an important thing to note whenever you're doing siege breakers is always pop feint. Outlaw really, and just rogues in general, really should utilize that feint to just mitigate that damage. And it's really nice as a rogue, guys, honestly, because you have so much damage mitigation and avoidance. You have cloak, you have health vial, you have feint, you have vanish if you get threat for some reason. You have cheat death talent too, so really good. So what I was saying earlier about being careful on the cleave is you don't want to be popping the barrels preemptively. So if you see them getting low, kind of hold off on popping that Blade Fury, just because you should be utilizing that to get out ice blocked players, and you don't want to be like popping that prematurely when no one's really ice blocked and losing that value. So as far as the next stage of the fight here, guys, Jaina will go into the next intermission phase at 30%, and you're gonna have to. This is a kind of a DPS check of the fight where you're gonna need to DPS down a wall before one of her frost spells get to you, or else it's pretty much an insta wipe. So you can see my adrenaline rush is actually coming off cooldown. It's off cooldown now, and normally I'd be encouraging people just to pop adrenaline rush off cooldown, but I'm actually gonna hold it here because I do need to make a little one last push when this wall comes up. So here, as soon as I get to the wall, boom, I go ahead, pop adrenaline rush, and I start just going to town on this wall. So she's right now casting a channeled like spreading freeze trap. If it gets to you, it automatically blocks you, and it'll essentially just be a wipe. So you guys have to get it down before then. You can see it's right behind us. Here you have to go up this ramp. So you once again use smart usages of those cooldown or of those movement spells. So use your sprint, use your grapple to get up to these guys. Immediately pop your blade rush here, or your blade fury rather, just to start cleaving because you have 2 targets here, and then just working through your rotation again, guys. Nathaniel should be the priority out of these 2. Just so that the freeze trap doesn't get to you, because getting him out of that ice block is the trigger to stop that cast. You can see it just got stopped now. So now we're heading back to Jaina while just still DPSing this ice elemental on the way. And the nice thing about popping that adrenaline rush on the wall too, guys, is it's going to be back up almost guaranteed by the time you get to Jaina or soon after. So it's really good just to pop it there, just because you're using a ton of finishers, you're going to be reducing that cooldown. So here we're just navigating back to Jaina. Good thing we had this lock portal that was pretty clutch by my boy Oro to put that there last second, just to make this transition a little easier. And now in phase 3, guys, it's a lot like phase 2, where your priorities should be breaking out ice block players and dodging the mechanics. Some of the mechanics are a little amplified here, and she adds in a few like an orb of frost, so you have to deal with as well. So just as far as general strategy goes, we did implement a hero strategy to stall some ice block time. And the way that works is with this fight, it's really cool. Jaina's very reactive, so if your raid actually pops like a hero or a bloodlust, she actually responds in kind with her own ice block to kind of just mitigate that damage, which is, by the way, really cool. Like, just a little cool trick that Blizzard did to put into this fight. But what you can do is use that to your advantage to clear ice blocks. So you'll see in a little bit that we actually will intentionally have the majority of our raid get blocked, and then pop hero to then cause Jaina to get blocked, and then, or Jaina will ice block herself rather, and then that gives us time to clear all of our ice blocked players out and reset their stacks. So here I was actually holding adrenaline rush for this moment, and you'll see it come up here where we get a bunch of players blocked here momentarily, and you can see Jaina has ice blocked herself there, so she's not dealing any additional damage to our raid. Boom, our entire raid, essentially myself included, becomes ice blocked, and then our demon hunters and a lot of our other big AoE DPS are just going to town here. I was actually hoping to kind of like put myself in this DPS group because Outlaw does, like I said, just dirty AoE DPS, and I didn't get put in the group originally when we were doing the plan. Still a little salty about that, by the way, Mr. Raid Leader, but it's alright. It's not like I'm the top parsing Mythic Plus or anything. But no worries. It's not a big deal. They did a great job. So you'll see me. I used grapple there to get that siege breaker out and popped feint right before, like I was saying. Always good. And here we still have some leftover ice blocks. So make sure you're popping your cleave abilities here and just getting these players freed up as soon as possible. And that's pretty much the name of the game for the rest of this fight, guys. Jaina will like die or teleport, and the encounter will end when I believe the percentage is like 5.5. So we only have about like 8 or 9 percentage points left here until we beat her. So, and we're doing great. We only have like a few people dead here, but this fight does get pretty crazy, and you should always be prioritizing just helping your DPS get out, because obviously dead DPS is no DPS, so the priority needs to be to help your raid members, unless you're literally like 1 or 2 percentage points away, and then in which case you can just focus on burning the boss. I actually do end up dying here, guys. she does do a Comet Storm ability or Icefall. Here you go, you can see in the top center of the screen this indicator, that arrow indicates the direction the comets will go, and as I'm trying to dodge some of her glacials here, I literally just walk into this without cloak, so that was just total you know, stupidity by me. I should not have got hit by that, but this was my first time getting this far in the fight, and like I said, this was our first night actually doing this fight, so you know, a lot of us weren't just used to the combined of all the mechanics, so not a huge deal. She's already at like 6-7%, so the kill will be coming out momentarily here, and I know in hindsight now to watch out for that. There's the kill, there's the head of the curve, the might of the alliance. Really great job. Our guild was going nuts in Discord. It was really cool to get this down. I'm really looking forward to progressing with Mythic with these guys. We've been having a ton of fun. We actually just downed Jadefire Mythic tonight, and we're going to be going into Gron and the further bosses later this week, so look out for Mythic videos for that. So I apologize just for the kind of the quickness of this video, guys. It was a little botched, but I really was just excited to get this kill and get this POV video out for you guys. Normally I don't do my POV or guide videos until I've killed the boss several times, but I just really wanted to get this guys out to you, and really have been appreciative of all the feedback and support you've given on the past videos, especially the Outlaw Rogue Rotation Basics video, guys. You guys are giving that video so much love and so much comments and just great feedback. I really appreciate that. If you want to see more videos like this, more POVs, let me know. If you would rather me focus on like the longer guides, let me know. It seems like the guides are kind of, you know, what most people prefer, and I will be working on more of those for all the bosses in Battle of Dazar'alor, but I do like making these quick little POV videos for you guys too, just to see kind of what was going through my head. So thanks so much for all the support. Feel free to check out my stream, all the links in the description, and leave me some comments, guys. I'll respond right away. I love hearing all the stuff you guys have to say, and once again, thank you so much for all the support, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Take it easy.